Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? So today we will be talking about passport bros. A good number of passport bros were found unalive in Colombia. In recent times there has been a trend of American guys getting their passport and moving abroad to get someone to marry to or someone to date. Because of reasons they've given us, reasons such as the American women are this, they're tough, they're rude, they're not wife material enough, and all that. So they'd rather go abroad and find someone they would date and marry. Like I said, it's been a trend. But right now in Colombia, they've been hunting down those passport bros. Not just Colombia alone. They have stories of some of them getting unalive in Philippines, in China, and more. I also have a story of a passport bro that went to China to cause havoc and he was sentenced to death. Anyways, I would love you guys to watch this video. I have a lot of videos from TikTok, and you're talking about the passport bros that got unalived in Colombia. 8 of them. One article said 25, and the US government issued out a travel advisory against going to certain places in Colombia, and they also said that they should stay away from using some certain apps, dating apps and all that. Let's start with this particular video.
Tonight, an urgent warning for Americans visiting Colombia after a string of deaths in tourist hotspots. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota urging travelers not to use dating apps in the country, writing in a security alert that criminals are using the sites to lure victims, with many U.S. citizens drugged, robbed, and even killed by their Colombian dates. Embassy officials confirming the deaths of at least 8 Americans traveling in Medellin, possibly linked to the apps.
I'm out of words to describe. I don't even know how I feel right now.
A situation all too familiar for the family of 50-year-old Tu Zhang, an artist and activist from Minnesota who we first reported on last month. He had been traveling in Colombia in December when he called his brother out of the blue asking for money.
This time he was like, "Hey, do you have a couple of thousand?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem. When do you want it?" He said, "I want it now. I'm in this bit of a situation here." I go, "Oh, yeah, I can do that."
Zhang's family telling our Minneapolis affiliate soon after he stopped responding to their messages, he was found dead. A local prosecutor saying Zhang was kidnapped during a date and killed when he could not make the ransom payment, and that his body was found covered in stab wounds.
I was confused. To be honest with you, I don't know why, what the motive is.
Zhang had visited Colombia in the past, posting photos and videos to social media as recently as October with an unidentified woman.
With my girl.
The embassy's alert indicated officials do not believe all 8 of the deaths are linked and said they've seen an increase in reports of incidents involving the use of online dating applications to lure victims, typically foreigners, for robbery by force or using sedatives to drug and rob individuals.
Now, after this article was released about those passport bros making their way down to Colombia and getting the United States had to put out a travel advisory to these dusties. Okay, a literal travel advisory to these dusties to not go and meet strangers in foreign countries on dating app. And shout out to Sandra Rose, this blog that put out this article because it's an amazing read. So they state in the article, a growing number of men are traveling to foreign countries to meet submissive women who are less expensive and not too demanding. The term, you guys know, is passport bros, first appeared on TikTok, and it references men who use dating apps to hook up with women in other countries. It states below that authorities say that at least 25 passport bros were unalived in Medellin, Colombia in 2023, and 4 Americans were killed in Medellin in November alone. Now, Owens, a 59-year-old passport bro, was gunned down, robbed, and taken for his watch and gold chain, and then his family had to receive his body 2 weeks later in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The U.S. State Department helped the family out to cut through the red tape to bring his remains home. You guys have to understand, that's not what the State Department is for, but that is what the State Department will do. Now you can pause this to read the rest of these horror stories, including Johnny Jerome and Philip Mullins. Now again, the U.S. State Department is issuing a warning to avoid using dating apps to meet women in foreign countries, because you could otherwise get yourself... It's crazy. The State Department has to do this. It's a waste of tax dollars to have to warn people to not do this. But again, there's the warning.
Well, how do y'all think Big Poe feel about this, huh? I always tell y'all what, ladies? A man cannot disrespect women and think that there is no consequences. Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, Tory Lanez, we got a passport bro who's sentenced to death in China. This is remarkable. They think a passport means freedom for degradation of other women in other countries because women in the United States, they're not good enough. Y'all think women in America ought to get y'all for y'all 50 cents. Y'all flipped it 50 cent, tripled it 3 times, made it $1.50, and then went over there and got sentenced to death. Y'all ain't reading no laws. Your black skin barely making it in America, let alone another country.
This was my point right here. It might have gotten misconstrued, but it's a sad situation all around. These men died. They might have families, children. I don't know the situations. However, let's use our common sense is all I'm saying. You're going to another country where you probably don't speak the language to meet strangers off the internet you've never seen before in private places. Like, I wouldn't even do that in the States. And somebody said this in the comments. You can get got in the States. Like, you can be a lick in the States. But with your income in another country where the dollar's worth way more, you're that much more of a lick. So you've got to be safe. That's my point. We don't want to hear about more of y'all on the news because you didn't take precaution. Use your common sense, fellas. And ladies too, because I'm hearing y'all going to Jamaica to find some men and they getting green cards off y'all. Hey, listen, I gotta do some research. I'll get back to you.
The comedian was kidnapped and murdered while on a date in Medellin, Colombia last week.
I'm not impressed. As a Colombian, we've been telling y'all so many times to stop going to Colombia for sex tourism. Honestly, I lost all empathy for passport bros. And I'm not trying to start any controversy, but I love how this dude decides to describe this man, this 50-year-old man who used to fly to Colombia just to have sex with 19, 21, and 20 years old. As an activist, as an angel, as a person who helps so many immigrants from his country in the States, I'm not denying anything he has done to the community. Good for him. But do not paint the situation as, oh, this poor American went outside and he fell in love. No, he was looking for a 20-year-old to take advantage of. He almost tripled her age, just so you know. So, no, I do not feel bad for a pervert who only went to Colombia for sex tourism and got murdered in the process. Now, there's bad people everywhere. But don't try to follow this propaganda about how everywhere in Latin America is dangerous and how you too can get murdered in broad daylight. And as so many Americans like to say, fuck around and find out.
Okay guys, I'm pretty sure you heard what they all had to say. It's really, really sad. And I don't think we should laugh at someone that has lost his life. I think the most we can do is respect the dead. Yeah. So I'm not really going to drag the men that already lost their life. And I can't say lessons have been learned because they are gone. But I believe the living can learn a huge lesson from what they did, from their mistakes and all that. The speakers spoke about a lot of things I find to be very interesting. And let's start with the dating app. They didn't talk about a particular dating app. It could be any dating app that has Colombia as a country and people from Colombia registering on that app. So right now it's like they've put a tag on Colombia, and a certain place in Colombia: do not meet people from this area, do not date people from this area. I want to say this: there is the good, the bad, and the ugly everywhere. It just happens to be Colombia. Like one of the speakers said, it can also happen in the US. The speaker said himself cannot meet a stranger in the US. Like, it's not It's not like he cannot, but he's cautious about that. It takes a lot of nerves for you to leave your country, fly over to a new country that you have no idea of how the country is and how to navigate the place. You know nobody there, and you're meeting a total stranger which you've never met before. Probably you might have seen the person on video call and all that. You've never met the person before, and there's a language barrier. The chances of getting duped, getting harmed is very, very high. It's a risky move. It is a risky move. And some guys might be like, oh, it's worth it because the people we have over in the US are not worth it. Yeah, they have a lot to say about women, about black women in the US. Oh, they're not submissive. Oh, they are too expensive. They're too demanding. You know, when you take the dollar and go to some countries, some underdeveloped country, automatically become richer, way richer, maybe times 2 or times 3 or times 4 richer, depending on the exchange rate. You become way richer than you are in the US, and it's easier for you to afford a lot of things. So I believe it's cheaper for those passport bros to date women in other countries that are not as expensive as it is in the US. And some of them, they say the reasons why they do that is because those women over there are submissive. For me, I feel like they're looking for who they can control 100%, and it's like given that they are coming from the US, they have this superiority complex, and the people in the underdeveloped country, they feel like, oh, the man is doing them a favor, or they must be favored for the man to have chosen them. So it's like, to the man, I'm the higher person here. And if you're find in such a situation, it's easier for the woman to be submissive, because one, you're coming from a place that is being perceived to be better off than where the woman is. And secondly, given to the fact that your dollar makes more sense in their country, gives more money in their country, you're being perceived to be rich. So when you're rich, the woman is looking up to you, and there is more goodies for her. So it's easier for her to be submissive. And you're willing to spend as well. So it's way easier for her to be submissive compared to women in the US, where both of you are on the same, you're on leveled ground, using the same dollar, have almost the same opportunity, and the women are working. So you can't expect such women to be 100% submissive to you when you don't do what you're supposed to do. So you can't be dragging for power when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So it's easier for them to pack their bags and go to a country where they feel superior. It's harder for you to feel superior in the US when you know that the woman has almost equal opportunity as you do have. So it's not all about money right now. It takes much more your character, your personality, for a woman to be submissive to you. You know, a lot of men out there in the past, and I think it still happens, they feel like when you give woman money solves it all. These days it's harder for that to happen, because women are making their own money, so you cannot control women with money. So now it becomes a thing of, what can I do? Money is not making it happen. This is where your character, your personality comes in, and that is the hardest part of it. If you're not a good person, you're not a good person. If you're not a good leader, you're not a good leader. If you cannot treat a woman right, you don't have it in you, you don't have it in you. That's where it becomes difficult. They'd rather carry their bag and go to underdeveloped country where they can have it their way, feel superior, throw money at women, and get them to submit. And the women are less demanding, according to them. You get? The women are less expensive, less demanding. The other speaker spoke about the man that went to China to unalive someone in China, and he got sentenced to death in China. Yeah. Why would you go to someone else's country? You have the nerves, the effrontery to go to someone else's country and unalive them. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it happened due to self-defense. I really don't know, because there is no much story to what happened. You get? But anyways, that's what happened. So Passport Bro did that, and he's been sentenced to death in China. Them also talking about black women not being good enough. I think I've already spoken about that. I don't think black women are not good enough. Some might not be good enough, but generally, I think the reason why most of those passport bros are running away, if you look at them properly, they have character problem. Yeah, character problem. When you think money cannot work for you anymore, you look for the next easiest way out, the next person that you think you can use money to control. When you cannot treat someone nicely, you cannot be a good man in a relationship, it becomes hard for you to date a good woman, to date someone when money is not the center of it all. And I think that's what the struggle is with those passport bros. That's exactly what I think the struggle is. I might be wrong, let me know. And then for those women jetting off to Jamaica, I'm not sure if they jetted off to Jamaica, but those women going to Jamaica to look for men, y'all just have to be careful. Have to be careful, because things can get messy over there. I've been there, I've stayed there a while. I know what I'm talking about. Just be careful. I know what I'm talking about. Then the guy from Colombia spoke about the 50 years old man going over to Colombia to date women that are in their 20s, women that are 20 years, 21 years old. And I think that's, what should I even say about that? Those women are adults already. That's their choosing, that's their decision. You get? So I don't think the men should be blamed. They have the money and the women are looking for the money, and the dating happened. You get? Rather, the women should be blamed, because they're the ones looking for the money. It's like sugar and ant. The sugar is over there, the ants are going over to the sugar. That's exactly what I'm saying. The sugar might be the women for the men, and the men might be the sugar might be the men for the women, vice versa. You get? So guys, this is all I have to say. If you feel like you want to date someone that is submissive, if you want a woman to be more submissive to you, I think you have to check your character, treat the woman nicely, be a better person. These days, money cannot control a woman 100%. There's still some women out there that money can control, but these days that women are out there hustling for themselves and having their own money, you need to do way more than giving the woman the money. Be a good person, treat the woman nicely, listen, understand the person you're in a relationship with is very important. If you think you're struggling with that, take time out, fix yourself as a human being. Fix your character flaws and all that, then before you go back into the dating pool. Like I said, these days money cannot control relationship as it did in the past, because everyone now has money. Everyone has the opportunity to make money. Women are making money. In the past, men will show all sort of nasty behavior and then throw money at women, and they feel like that's it. Every little thing, money. Oh, she needs money. Oh, she needs money. Money is the problem. That's why she's nagging. Money is the problem. That's why she's complaining. Money is the problem. That's why she's seeking for attention. Money is the problem. That's why she's disturbing me. And then they give money and they think that's all. These days, women are telling you we don't need your money because we have our own money. Come, settle this problem. Change your character. Be a better man. And it's hard for a lot of people to do. It's hard for a lot of men to do. So passport bros, be careful. The grass is not always greener at the other side, at the other end. The grass is not always greener. This is all I have to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye.